In recounting the narrative of how my conjugal bliss spiraled into the abyss due to my wife's singular act of infidelity, the cataclysmic event unfolded a few years ago. My former spouse and I, both teetering on the brink of 45, found ourselves entrenched in the ruins of what was once an unassailable marriage. Our journey commenced in the hallowed halls of 8th grade camaraderie, evolving into a romantic saga that endured through the vicissitudes of life. For decades, we reveled in an unbroken bond, ensconced in an idyllic union that weathered the storms of time, until the fateful afternoon 5 years hence. A quarter-century of matrimonial bliss had woven an intricate tapestry of happiness, a testament to the enduring love that burgeoned since our adolescent dalliance. My wife, the devoted homemaker, reveled in her role as the family's nurturing caretaker, taking pride in our two progenies, a 23-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old son. Her ardor for domesticity manifested in culinary exploits, meticulous cleaning, verdant gardening, skillful sewing, and the meticulous orchestration of a harmonious familial haven for the four of us. The sanctity of our union was symbolized by the regular entwining of our bodies in passion, an evergreen flame that seemingly defied the ephemerality of such ardor. Yet, the zenith of our ideal existence crumbled during the July 4th weekend of 2017, a time traditionally reserved for celebration and jubilation. The revelation of my wife's dalliance shattered the semblance of harmony that had defined our lives. The roots of this tumultuous event could be traced back to Christmas of 2016, when I bestowed upon my wife the opulence of a state-of-the-art kitchen, a lavish gift for which I had scrimped and saved over 3 arduous years. A renowned designer and a team of skilled craftsmen commenced the transformation in January, and my wife's excitement burgeoned with each passing day, as she regaled me with updates on the renovations and her discerning modifications. The crescendo of this disquiet reached its zenith on the eve of July 4th, a Thursday evening devoid of the usual familial revelry. Having concluded our dinner rituals, my wife and I found ourselves ensconced in the living room. Her countenance, shrouded in a veil of tears, betrayed an internal turmoil that begged to be unveiled. As she approached me, the quivering in her voice heralded the forthcoming revelation. Nestling into my arms, she confessed through tears, "I have something to tell you, and I hope you will still love me." My response was a solemn affirmation, an unwavering commitment to love in the face of the impending tempest that threatened to erode the foundation of our shared history. As the gravity of her revelation began to sink in, my wife uttered the unthinkable words that pierced the air like a jagged blade, a confession of infidelity that shattered the sanctity of our shared history. She laid bare the agonizing truth that she, in a moment of profound betrayal, had engaged in an illicit liaison with Joel, the leader of the construction crew, right on the very sofa where we both now sat. The disbelief that coursed through my veins was swiftly replaced by a surge of intense anger and a visceral aversion, an overwhelming cocktail of emotions that threatened to engulf me. "You did what? Tell me you're kidding with this," I implored, grappling with the disorienting reality of her admission. Behind the locked door, her sobs reverberated, a poignant symphony of remorse that echoed my own internal turmoil. After a quarter of an hour, I relented, opening the door to a pleading figure desperately entreating me not to abandon ship. Ignoring her pleas, I strode out with my suitcase in tow, indifferent to her cries and imploring gestures. The outside world beckoned, and I embarked on a journey, driving for an hour until I reached the sanctuary of a hotel where I sought refuge for the ensuing 2 nights. Throughout this self-imposed exile, my phone buzzed incessantly with her calls and texts, but my responses remained scarce, a deliberate act of detachment. Come Saturday evening, I made the pivotal decision to return home, the air laden with an unspoken tension as I crossed the threshold. The visage that greeted me was a stark departure from the vibrant woman I once knew. She appeared as a shell of herself, marked by incessant tears and a ghostly pallor that spoke volumes of the emotional toll she had endured. Despite the evident distress etched on her countenance, I rebuffed her attempts at physical solace, opting instead to usher her into the bedroom for a conversation that necessitated a sequestered space away from the haunting remnants of the living room, a silent witness to the transgression. In that confined space, she spilled the sordid details, recounting a momentary lapse in judgment wherein Joel initiated a kiss after the final walkthrough, culminating in an act of consensual intimacy on the same couch where familial bonds once thrived. Her confession echoed with remorse and self-reproach, an admission driven by an unbearable burden of guilt that had festered within her. The catalyst for her disclosure emerged when, overwhelmed by shame, she confided in her sister on a Tuesday, who, in turn, insisted that she come clean to me upon her return from the July 4th holiday. Desperation clung to her pleas as she articulated a willingness to sacrifice her own happiness, offering an open relationship as a desperate plea to salvage what remained of our fractured union. In response to her tearful entreaties, I resolutely reiterated the solemn vows I had taken, steadfast in my commitment to fidelity. A profound moment unfolded as I forgave her, not as an absolution of her transgression, but as a salve for the festering wounds of my own peace of mind. The weight of forgiveness hung in the air, a fragile bridge strung across the chasm of betrayal, as we stood at the precipice of a tumultuous journey towards redemption or dissolution. Consumed by the relentless turmoil within me, I vocalized the crushing reality that had taken root in my mind, the erosion of trust, the extinction of love, and the burgeoning flame of hate that now blazed within my heart for the woman who had orchestrated the unraveling of our marital tapestry. With unflinching candor, I expressed the profound absence of any romantic sentiments, articulating a repulsion that rendered her visage utterly repugnant in my eyes. In the aftermath of my revelation, her tearful pleas reverberated, imploring me with desperate entreaties not to forsake the shared history that was rapidly slipping through our grasp. Despite my desire to explore the potential for reconciliation, I acknowledged the insurmountable challenge posed by the indelible stains of infidelity that now tainted the very fabric of our once hallowed abode. The kitchen, once a symbol of familial joy, and the living room, now an unwelcome witness to betrayal, served as constant reminders that threatened to undermine any tentative steps towards healing. Faced with the unbearable weight of this reality, I advocated for a necessary separation, a respite in which the jagged edges of our fractured union could perhaps mend. Her tear-stained countenance bore the traces of a tumultuous emotional maelstrom as I outlined the imperative for us to dwell apart, seeking solace within the embrace of our respective families. The path towards healing, I asserted, necessitated this physical and emotional distance. Despite her fervent pleas, I remained steadfast in my conviction that this separation was an essential prerequisite to any hope of salvaging the remnants of what was now a crumbling foundation. As the gravity of my decision sank in, she succumbed once again to inconsolable sobs, a symphony of despair that underscored the irreparable damage inflicted upon the once unassailable sanctuary we had crafted together. With a resolve steeled by the necessity of facing the repercussions of our actions, we retreated to separate bedrooms, the chasm between us palpable in the silent spaces that now divided our shared domain. The dawn of the following day ushered in the grim responsibility of divulging our shattered reality to the pillars of our respective familial structures. In a series of emotionally charged conversations, I elucidated the decision to temporarily reside with my parents while she sought refuge in the familial embrace of her own kin. Our parents, confronted with the disintegration of a union they had once celebrated, grappled with a cocktail of shock, disappointment, and profound sadness. The subsequent day marked the initiation of the difficult task of communicating our shattered reality to our children, a heart-wrenching process that necessitated transparency and a measured consideration of their emotional well-being. My daughter, on the precipice of college, and my son, poised to embark on his senior year of high school, faced a tumultuous upheaval that threatened to shatter the stability they had known. Despite the challenging circumstances, the relative maturity of our children mitigated the severity of the blow, providing a modicum of solace amidst the chaos. In recounting the harrowing metamorphosis of my wife into an unrecognizable entity, a mere shadow of the vibrant and supple woman she embodied just 6 months prior, the seismic upheaval within our once idyllic family unfolded. As our children arrived, their innocence and familial love juxtaposed against the backdrop of this disintegration, my sister-in-law, a beacon of unwavering support, embraced me with words of love, pledging perpetual allegiance despite the storm brewing in our domestic haven. The subsequent revelation to our children, an emotionally charged disclosure that bore the weight of betrayal, unleashed shock and disgust, particularly from my daughter, whose gaze refused to meet her mother's. Amidst the emotional turmoil, a decision crystallized: the sale of our once happy home, a sanctuary now tarnished by the indelible stain of infidelity. The ensuing plan involved living separately, seeking refuge within the comforting embrace of our parents to traverse the tumultuous path of healing. The wrenching revelation, coupled with the determination to sever the ties that bound us to this anguished past, prompted an immediate proclamation from both children: "Dad, I want to live with you." 4 months on, the irrevocable truth manifested in my consciousness, propelling me to the agonizing realization that reconciliation, while potentially admirable in theory, proved elusive in practice. The decision to divorce, although marked by forgiveness, underscored an insurmountable chasm, a void wherein trust, love, and the once deep passion had irretrievably dissipated. A palpable repulsion in her presence, a complete absence of desire, and an aversion to her very being cemented the inexorable journey towards legal separation. As the legal proceedings unfolded with surprising ease, my wife's desire for nothing, juxtaposed against my insistence that she receive her equitable share of our assets, laid the foundation for a surprisingly amicable divorce. An unconventional decision, perhaps, but one that resonated with a sense of closure and a belief in the restoration of equilibrium. Her pledge to channel the proceeds toward our children in the future added a layer of vindication to the decision. 5 years hence, a new chapter beckoned, a new house, a rekindled social life, and tentative forays into the realm of dating. My wife, however, persisted in her pursuit of reconciliation, clinging to the belief that fate would one day reunite us. Despite maintaining a friendly rapport, the unequivocal declaration that romantic feelings would never be rekindled resonated as a boundary etched in stone. As life moved forward, my daughter's graduation and secure employment, alongside my son's impending senior year of college, heralded accomplishments that swelled my heart with pride. Yet, the shadows of the past persisted, casting a veil over the once unbreakable bond with their mother. This recounting of my journey serves as a testament to resilience, a testament to those facing similar tribulations, a reaffirmation that forgiveness can be a balm for the soul, but sometimes, the path to healing necessitates a definitive break. To those grappling with infidelity, my advice echoes with clarity: forgive, but sever the ties, reclaim your sense of self, and embark on the journey of rebuilding. Until our paths cross again, take care, and thank you for witnessing the chapters of my life unfold.